Hello, welcome to Introduction to Nonfiction 3317. My name is Greg Graham. I'll be your professor of this class, and I'm glad to have you. Look forward to this semester, and I think we're going to have a good time. I wanted to start off by telling you this is primarily a writing class. So hopefully you enjoy writing, you have some skill as a writer. If you just took the class as an elective that you thought might be kind of easy, then and you don't like to write, it might not be easy for you. So I just want to warn you about that. It's not a heavy reading class. If you're an English major, most of your English classes would be more reading heavy. We read a lot of short pieces in this class, but it's not a heavy load of reading. The writing is what's a heavy load. So we do all levels of writing, a lot of pre-writing, a couple of drafts of your major essays. So let's take a look at the class. So if you look at the Blackboard shell here, the first thing to look at, of course, is the syllabus. So you click on the syllabus, and there it is. So it covers the basic stuff. I'm not going to read through the whole thing right now, but it has my contact information on there. Let me just say that the best way to contact me is through email. Don't message me on Blackboard because sometimes I miss those messages. I do have my cell phone in here. If you have something urgent, you can text me. If it's extremely urgent, you can call me. But generally speaking, email is the way to go. There aren't any required textbooks for this class. All the readings are posted on Blackboard. And so you'll be happy to know that. This is an online class, obviously, so you have to be more disciplined with your time. You have to budget your time. You have to be willing to commit, let's say, about 6 hours at least per week to this class. Now, in the syllabus, you see all the assignments here, and this tells you the percentage of the grade over here. So that's helpful for you to know the percentage of each. Obviously, there's two major essays, and that's your greatest impact on your grade of any of them. Now, there's also, in this class, I have a Weebly page. The Weebly page it's just simply there to expand on the assignments, to give you a real thorough explanation of the assignment. So I'm gonna show you, but the Weebly page is linked through the syllabus and through the schedule. When you're looking through the syllabus, if you see these assignments and you click on them, then it'll take you to a discussion, a further explanation of that assignment. And there's the rubric, for instance, for discussion boards and how I expect you to engage on discussion boards. If you click on the course homepage, that's the Weebly page. And this is just a brief introduction, kind of it looks cool, at least in my opinion. And you can go through it here. Once again, it links back to the syllabus and schedule. It goes through every assignment. But you don't really ever have to go to the Weebly page, except maybe to read this little introduction and just to look around initially. But you won't have to think, oh boy, I got to go constantly back to the Weebly page. What you'll do is you'll get to it through links. And the main way that you work through this course is through the schedule. So I click on the schedule, and this walks you through each week, each assignment. And so let me explain it to you, because once you understand, I just want you to understand that The schedule is your home base. That's where you always go. That's what you always refer to about what am I supposed to be doing in this class. And all you gotta do is click on the links on the schedule and it'll take you to whatever you need to be doing. So, for instance, when it says read me, those are reading assignments for that week. And when it has a little dude writing, that's the writing assignment for that week. You also have the people discussing, and that means there's a discussion assignment that week. And discussions take place on Blackboard. That's the only thing that takes place that you do the work in Blackboard, and that's the discussions. And then there's journal assignments. Those are more writing assignments, and those are done through Google Docs. So when you have a reading assignment, you click on that. It takes you to the reading. Right there it is. When you have a writing assignment, it takes you to the Weebly site with a thorough explanation of the writing assignment. And I'm going to go over this one in detail because it's our first writing assignment. It's right off the bat. It's just kind of an intro writing assignment. So then let's see, discussion board. When you click on the discussion board, that takes you again to an explanation of what you're supposed to do in that discussion board, which will take place on Blackboard. Let's see if there's anything else. Well, the only other little symbol over here is this one, which just means you're going to be working really hard. You're going to be getting with it while you're writing. And then rough draft there, that means a rough draft is due. And then there'll be a final draft when a final draft is due. And then a reflection, person in a reflective mode that kind of looks like they're on the toilet, but they're thinking. So, and that's it. And so let me kind of explain to you the rhythm of this class because that'll really help you. There's 2 major assignments, and so we kind of walk through these different genres. The first is memoir. And so you'll read about the genre, which is memoir, the first one. So this singular first person is about memoir. It's really about creative nonfiction as a whole. And then storytelling narration and the Who I Am story is, first it's an explanation generally about the genre of memoir, which is writing about yourself, a story about yourself. And then there's a specific genre called the Who Am I story, Who I Am story. And there's guidelines there, and that's going to be your first assignment. It's right off the bat. It's a brief assignment. As you can see from the explanation here, this is like a 2-page, 2 type double-spaced pages. So it's a brief piece of writing that you're going to do pretty much immediately in this class. Now, so in the rhythm of this class, first we read about it. Now, this quick assignment is kind of out of the normal rhythm, but because it's real quick. Then week 2, we go into reading more about how you do memoir writing, and then we discuss it in the discussion board down here. And then you journal, you practice that kind of writing. And then finally, we do some reading in that genre. These at the beginning of week 4, these are actual pieces. These are memoir pieces. They're fun reading. They're excellent pieces of writing. And so you read samples. You're getting an example of the kind of thing that you might do. And then you discuss that. And then you practice it. And then finally, you write your own piece. Again, discuss, practice, and then you begin writing your own piece. The practice can lead into the piece of writing. That's kind of what the practice is about. And so let's discuss these journals a little bit because sometimes people get a little bit confused about that. The journal assignments, there's two parts to it. One is a free write, and that's where you're practicing the writing. Start thinking about your first essay. You start just kind of like, it doesn't have to turn into your first essay, but it's going to be a memoir type writing, okay? Your copy and compose is you take the memoir pieces, the professional ones, and you copy a segment, a couple of sentences or a paragraph out of that, and then you compose something that emulates that style. So as you can see here, the copy and compose exercise should include a copy of the passage word for word, including the source, author, and page number, a description of how the language in the source works to build a particular effect, and a version of the passage in your own words that replicates the rhythm of the passage, involving the subject of the essay that you'll be writing for in essay 1. So you copy and you just emulate the style. You don't like paraphrase what you just copied. You just emulate the style is all you're doing. And you're trying to learn from the masters is the idea behind copy and compose. And then there's an example down here that really makes it clear. This is what your copy and compose should look like. Okay? So that's the journaling, and that happens several times throughout the semester. Let's see. So let's talk about the first assignment. You'll do a couple of readings, and in the second reading, like I said, she very, very helpful. You really need to take this in to give you a good idea about what I'm after, what I'll be looking for in your memoir writing. But then you go down to towards the end of that article, there is an actual starting the who I am story. So this is kind of cool because it's introducing yourself to your classmates and to me. And so you basically what you do with this story is you're figuring out something about yourself that you want to tell everybody about, and then you tell a story that illustrates that point. You figure out a characteristic, as it says here. Once you have a characteristic, keep brainstorming, think of one specific example or event that illustrates this characteristic. And so you're going to tell a story that's going to show us something about you. That's the idea, and it's a brief story. And then here's a lot of really great tips for kind of the pre-writing to get this piece done. Ask some questions about the event, write down everything you remember, go to do something else, summarize the main point, think about creating a dominant impression. We'll talk about that all semester. What is your dominant impression? And then you're going to add details. Details are huge. Concrete, specific details. That's what makes memoir writing powerful. Showing and not telling. And that's something that I'll harp on the whole semester. All this is trying to lay a foundation for you and the kind of writing that you're going to do. And that's it. So I think I've covered everything. Anybody got a question? Well, since I didn't hear anything, that was a joke. No, if you have a question, seriously, email me and ask away. Otherwise, welcome to the semester. Let's get writing.